Hi, this is Kathleen Acker Ramsey, and I just wrote the book, The Game of Life, and it's going to come out in May 2023. Anyway, I can't wait to share it with you. And while writing this book, I had lots of messages that guided me through it. But also, right as I started to write this book, it was in the midst of the world being a tad bit crazy. And I was about 2 or 3 weeks in when I received a notice from my employer. And so, why is that relevant for the book? Is because I learned to start playing the game. And as I wrote this book, things from my past would come up to help me write it, but also things were happening in my life that were helping me learn to play the game of life at a new level. And so I'm going to share that with you because it continues. There was a big pause as to releasing this book. I had hoped to have it out in October of 2022, but things just kept happening and it wasn't supposed to happen. And things that have revealed themselves are the reason why it wasn't released sooner. So I look forward to sharing it all with you. But I want to tell you a little bit about the background of writing the book, The Game of Life by Kathleen Acker Ramsey. So I started writing my book and I hired an editor. And at the same time, I had been a contractor for a company. And that company is in the news a lot. And they started being in the news a lot more in 2020. I was hired on as a contractor January of 2020. A few short weeks later, the world shut down. Why that is irrelevant, or why that's relevant, I mean, is because it brings us forth to 2021 when I was hired on by the company in July of 2021. 1 week exactly later, I received an email from my employer, and I'm going to share that with you because I'm going to unfold a story. And in unfolding that, I hope to teach everyone how to bring out the hero inside of them, which is what my book is about. So, is questioning your core beliefs and being okay with it and healing your past stuff so that you can bring forth the hero that is inside of each of us. So, on August 5th, I received an email, and my employer wanted to know my status. And since this might go on YouTube, I'm not going to say, I think that's enough. And then if I didn't give that status, I was going to have to start sticking something up my nose, which does not sound appealing at all to me. And if you do that and if you consent to that, that is totally fine. You do you, and I do me. And I've always believed that just because it's okay for you does not mean to push your stuff on me. So when I got this email, knowing that the world was crazy and that to me was giving up freedom. I have sons and I was not willing to stand down for freedom. It was the core inside of me. It rattled me. And I went outside and I did the ugly, ugly call cry, like cry. And I learned heart math breathing techniques, which I recommend for everybody, and I do teach that. So I started doing heart math focused breathing in my cry, and I asked for guidance. And it was like August 5th. It was hot. I'm in the Midwest. It was hot, and a breeze comes, and my wind chimes start ringing, and it was as if Jesus grabbed my hand and said to me, "Don't listen to the obey, obey, obey. That's screaming loud. Just keep your focus straight ahead." And then I got a message that said, "You're the back door in." And I sat there thinking, I stopped crying. I was like, "I'm the back door in. What does that mean? I don't want to be the back door in. What's the back door in?" I have no idea. And to this day, which is a year and a half later, I am still learning what that message means. And it's still unfolding. So I'm glad to have you on this journey, wherever you're picking this story up at. So when I received an email, I went back in after this and I responded to the email. And everything that I respond going forward for the next time period to my employer is I was the writer, but I was not the originator. It was something that came to me. There were people that would help me, and they would be placed in my life at particular times, and they would say something, or somebody would send me something, and it just resonated with me, and I knew what to write. So my first one is a little choppy, but I was given an email that said, "We are collecting your status for the purpose of legal compliance." To which I write, I'm trying not to show too much, but to which I write, and I put in gray box, I stop it there. Kindly send me the laws that you are referring to and highlight the sections that are applicable. All United States citizens under federal and state laws have and are protected to the right of privacy. Under these laws, neither a company policy or requirement, a state mandate, nor an emergency authorized medical product can be mandated which violates our rights under law. Your request to know my status violates the Health and Privacy, HIPAA, the Constitution, and Federal Code Title VII. The next part of their email said they need to know my status for maintenance of operations. That's interesting. So I kindly asked, kindly elaborate on this point, explaining how exactly, whether I have something in me or not, how to test twice a week affects the maintenance of operations, as I am a remote worker. The next part says, and to best promote colleague public health and safety. Sounds so charming, doesn't it? Really does. Because we all wanted to protect each other and ourselves. Of course. That's what we should do. But my response was, as an employer, you have no legal responsibility for my health and safety within my home and or private life. Just as you have no responsibility for or right to mandate a diabetes management for low blood sugar. Kindly provide me the evidence, studies, reasoning, and documentation used to determine that my status or testing promote colleague health and safety. Since you are requiring my status, I am requesting an insert from the product that you make that you're wanting to insert in me. This is so that I can make an informed decision regarding my options. I require a product insert in order to read and be properly informed of the contents, the ingredients, indications, mechanisms of action, metabolism, and potential side effects. Kindly send me the research that this company has done, all their studies and documentation, all information gathered regarding all adverse reactions. I want to be informed, not from the news or hearsay, but directly from the source. And luckily, I work from them. Have no idea that I had this kind of courage, to be honest with you. I didn't stop there. You gave me the option to test twice weekly, which I am when I'm not feeling sick, and I work from home. Please provide your rationale for this requirement. Why are my options limited to either having something put in me, which, according to national news sources, does not have efficacy, or being tested twice weekly when the test is publicly noted to have low sensitivity and is inaccurate? Countless false positives and false negatives have occurred. This doesn't make sense, and considering both the thing and the test are invasive medical procedures, not to mention painful, this is tantamount to physical and mental abuse. In addition to the above, I'm requesting documents from, and I list a document that was produced by them that I do have and can publicly share. And it was dated in February of 2021. And in that study, it was noted that I believe 1,228 people had passed. Anyway, I already had the copy, but I did request it. And so, to which they end up responding that they have a duty to my community to protect me. And so I asked them for that contract because that would be a really interesting contract to have. I did not know that those contracts existed. Are you aware of that? So I didn't get that evidence. I don't want to make these too long, so I'm going to make them in short, sweet things because maybe you want to listen, maybe you don't, maybe you kind of want to be committed, but maybe you've only got 10 minutes or so to go between places. So this is just part one of how I got started. So in the interim of all this, I want to add that I was writing my book. The week after this, it was around August 16th or 18th. It was a Wednesday. I think it was the 18th that I went. There was an Illinois school board meeting regarding masks on our children. And and so I went to go speak. I drove up there. It was a couple hours away to go speak. Well, in there, everybody, there was 70 people talking, and they were all talking about, this study and that study, and they were saying basically the same things and how it had harmed their sons and daughters. And so I sat there and I prayed, let me say something differently. Let me say something that might just enter their hearts in a different way. I didn't know what I was going to say since the speech I had written, I was tearing up. So when I got up there, and it is recorded if anyone wants to find it, I said something to the effect of, you all have the opportunity to be heroes, just like Toto was in The Wizard of Oz when he pulled back the veil on the Grand Wizard of Oz. You too can be a hero by looking into this, by questioning, and by finding the evidence. And so afterwards, I walked out and I was talking to a couple women when we had decided to go to lunch. As I'm walking to my car, I always, when I pray, ask for signs that, signs to give me indication that I'm on the right path or whatever. And I kid you not, this is in Springfield, Illinois. As I'm walking to my car, I walk past a wall, and on that wall, in big capital letters, is your mission accomplished. You just can't make that stuff up. That's like priceless. I do want to add, I do have a friend that was with me that day, Michelle, and we saw two, not one, but two enormously big, huge elephants. One was purple and one was green in different places. And we laughed, right? Because it's the elephant in the room. And so I do ask for signs in multiples. So that was three signs, and I always ask for three. So I saw a purple elephant, I saw a green elephant, and I saw your mission accomplished. So the moral of the story is we do have solutions. It is like playing a game. When you perceive life as a game, then you can start playing it like a game and you can have some courage come up inside of you. You can speak your truth when you learn how to speak it. And so there is a proper way to do that and a not so proper way to do that, which we'll get into more. But I hope that you've enjoyed the part one, and I look forward to sharing the rest of my story with you. So thank you so much. And I really hope you'll get and enjoy the game of life. Oh, and you can find it at www.thegameoflife101.com. Give me your email and you'll get a word trickery document. And then you'll know when I'm having book signings and when the release is official. So thanks so much and have a great day.